Oh, hey, I can see that guy over there, which is nice. So you saw the turret right there, and there is that guy. So there's got to be a way over the turret. I do know where it is, but one of the things that I do need to be aware of is like, hey, if I don't know where that guy is and I can't see him, you know, I probably need to find a way to eliminate him. So I'm gonna see if I can wait for him to come around for like one more pass. Because if he does, I'll just go ahead and tag him real quick, and it'll be a quick in and out here for me. One of the things I don't want to have equipped is that diversion camera, because I know it comes into handy later. And so I'm trying to give us like everything that I possibly need in order to make the end of this go a little bit smoother. And also, like they said, we're gonna go to Plan 3 to execute the hostages. So I don't know what Plan 3 actually was. But we do get to like kind of take our time to get here. And if you notice this area, they're like, hey, we know you're gonna have to fight. So it's not being incredibly harsh on me and being like, hey, here's alarm after alarm after alarm. The president's out. So now it's kind of like a normal level, where like I still obviously don't want to have like people coming up behind me or things like that. But it is giving me a few more chances that it maybe otherwise doesn't need to. Let's see if I can't bait him a little bit. There we go. Oh. Kick my feet up. Yeah, we go. So once again, we saw that turret there. I don't necessarily want to mess with it. And it does give me, hey, just climb over this and you'll be okay. The game, like, I'm not so high, and if you notice here, it is very, very bright. So there's not a lot of ways for me to necessarily hide from that. So I am going to have to go through to move his body. But at least here, when I do that, I can, you know, drop down, drop behind him, and kind of do it in relative safety once I go ahead and disable this turret. Right, so I can deactivate, exit. Can't really walk past it, but now what I can do is I can wrap around here, grab, once again, free medkit. The game knows that you're here to do some fighting. Like, it's not trying to, like, have anything otherwise. Now, one of the cool things here that I love, and it gets explained more in the book compared to just in the game, where Sam Fisher, if you notice, I'm relatively a cool blue. Like, I'm staying mostly in the blues and greens, even compared to, like, a black body that I'm carrying. I'm relatively cooler except for my face. That's because Sam Fisher's suit actually regulates body temperature for him, so that way he doesn't get, like, if you're in a colder area, hey, it'll go ahead and warm me up, so you're not, like, sitting there shivering, teeth chattering, trying to, like, have your body naturally warm up. The suit has pouches and veins through it that'll circulate water, almost like a water cool or a water heat system for your computer. Ugh, still bad. And that's what he can go ahead and use to keep himself cool in, like, really hot places. That way, like, it's like, hey, it's really humid, he's not sweating profusely. Or keep himself warmer in places that are a little bit colder for him. So this next area gets a little hairy for me, right? This is... yeah, this area is going to be, like, a little bit more of a challenge. There are a couple guys in this room. That guy's walking that way. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and... should be able to grab you. Grabbed him, right? Let's go over here. Back to wall, back to wall. He's just standing there. He's going back. Good. I'll let him go. And when he turns and goes the other way, I'm going to pop his friend. Right?
I've got a dead body here.
And boom. Oop. Got him. Right, so that's two of them real quick. I think that's all 3 of them. I'm going to go ahead and tuck them over in this far corner. Now, if I'm not mistaken, right, because Fisher, for the most part in this game, I think you only knock people out. So if I'm for watching here, he is going to stay warm, and these bodies will go cold. So it's not even like there's a graphical bug. Like, the game does a fantastic job at being like, hey, this body stays warm because he's not dead yet. These bodies go cold because he is dead. Like, it's one of those subtle details. Then, of course, if I were to execute him there in cold blood, he would actually still go cold. Part of me is like, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. But the other part of me is like, when I played these as a kid, I'd be like, no, what happened here? And it's like, oh, I was knocked out, but he got my buddies. And it's like, no, I'm going to set you up, because like, why would he just spare you, just give him any information? Like, either way, you're in for a bad day. I'm going to go ahead, though. I've got 5 medkits. I'm going to go ahead and use 2 of those real quick. I've done a fair amount of work here with most of the resources that I have. So we're going to go ahead and continue on through here. We got 1 more vent to drop down, and that'll take us through the freezer section. So like I said, it's a longer section there, and this is a much longer level than we are used to. But the level, like I said, this level is like play Splinter Cell, guys. Like, play it well. Now, what I can also do right? Is there's a guy that's down there, and because there were lights up here, I can kind of bait him in.
How did that happen?
Take him right down, grab the body, and we can go ahead and kind of remove him from this area and remove him as a major threat. Once again, like I said, hide him over here. Doing pretty well with bodies. 1 alarm so far. It is a harder level. I could probably do it perfectly. It would just take a lot more concentration as far as that. And then, like, once again here, trying to talk and do this does make it a lot more challenging, especially compared to a lot of the later games. Bam, can't go through that door. So now we figure out where we are. We're finally in the basement. So it's been a bit of a hike, but we have made it there. Let's go ahead and we're going to switch this object. Open that. And we're into the next area. And if you notice here, that was a full-on... Oh. Alright, so here we are, guys. We're getting pretty close. We had a genuine cutscene, which means that this area is going to be a little bit different than a lot of other areas that we would be playing through typically. And what I want to do here is I'm going to probably go about this a little bit different. I'm probably going to use a fair amount of my non-lethals because I want to be able to take these guys out and still conserve a little bit of ammo and not necessarily have to like worry about the full threats, the full threat of like everything in this area. So like I have a couple different ways I can go about this. I can hide him up there. A couple flares here. So congratulations, I think I officially have everything that the game will give you as a weapon pretty early on, which is a fun, unique thing to have. There should be one more guy over here. Yeah, there he is. And I think he might come out. But I'm pretty well hidden, so that means I can just... right in the face. You know, drop him off in the back there and have him hidden pretty comfortably. Bam, there we go. There's those two. So here, knock this hat off. Whoop, another flare. That's nice. Find that on the ground. Another flare here. So got some flares. Probably means, hey, we're going to be taking on a couple more turrets. There's really no other point to them in the game. So that is just something to keep in mind there. Now let's see.
There's something over there.
So there we go. We got another flare, another frag grenade. And what it really is for, it's like, hey, distract that, because... Right. Oh, God, really? Grab that and just get out of there. Jesus Christ. Sprint across. Sprint across. Massive undertaking. All right. Go over here. And back up to 3. Let's just get me back up to full health. Now, for these guys... Bam! One of the options that you actually have is like, right, you can hop up here. Spiderweb kind of acts like a curtain. It's pretty funny. Like, the spiderweb doesn't get destroyed, it just acts like a curtain. So one of the options that you have here is you can actually be really stealthy, and you can come here and you can just be like, I can just turn off the friendly fire. And what it'll happen is it'll cause those two guys to be discovered, or like just it'll cause it to like take fire on them. So they'll just get into a fight with it. And I can like draw them this way, which is, like I said, it's a unique way to handle the situation. It's probably just easier to use what I did. It was just a little bit easier for me. Go ahead and put this right back here, and you really have like a good way around it all. We got another data stick, so we can read a couple things real quick, and then I'm going to press on to the next area. Like I said, this is pretty close to the end of the level now. I think I've done a pretty good job so far as not... go and reload. Fresh magazine. We'll be alright. We got 1 magazine left. Oh wow, I've got a lot of data sticks to read. Okay. I agree and imagine most Georgians would. I wouldn't trust Fei Rong or any of his men for that matter, but think of their value to our cause. Think of the weight of the Chinese Empire lends our efforts. Would the Americans be willing to draw the 3rd largest nation in the world into an armed conflict, into nuclear conflict? If we are approaching the edge, Khaki, Nikolats and his arc may be able to push us over. Here's hoping. I just finished a conversation with Nikolats himself. He is very much determined that tonight's event should go off perfectly. Planning and promptness will be key. I'm sure all of the men know their roles, but I would still like to meet in the studio for a walkthrough rehearsal at 1400 hours, Colonel Pavel. Frankly, I'm amazed that your loyalty runs so shallow. I have every faith that Nikolats still has the power to force the Americans to back down. The information crisis was just to get their attention, to throw them off guard and make everybody feel vulnerable. Nikolats' real strength lies in the Ark and his plans for it. The threat it will imply. The Ark will be the wound that will convince America that there are prices beyond which they are not willing to pay for world dominance. I know, I'm preaching again, but I believe in this, Zurab. We can still win this thing, Carlo. It has come to my attention that one of you, in the course of your patrol, has been shooting at the meat. I cannot imagine why and will not ask, but only request that it stop. Our cell will be in this 3rd world hellhole for as much as 2 weeks, and that meat could very well end up on your plates. You don't want to get used to the taste of cordite. So they were shooting the meat in the lockers that we were running through. Sir, the Chinese ambassador keeps talking to each other. Sir, the Chinese ambassador keeps talking to each other in Chinese. This probably isn't surprising, but it makes me worry since we can't understand them. I'm afraid they might be plotting something. Grinko has tried to force Long Dan to translate for us, but so far nothing has worked, and he has done some things I will not soon forget. I was wondering, sir, if we could borrow one of General Feirong's troops for the duration of our stay here to watch over the ambassadors and translate for us if needed. Thank you, respectfully. Colonel, if your men need to beat the Americans, they must confine themselves to body blows. We are less than 24 hours from their appearance on the world media, and they need to be pretty for the cameras. Their deaths will be viewed and reviewed for decades to come. It must not be seen at all as an end to their suffering. Blood and bruised faces do not very well show fear. Let nobody mistake what we do for pity. Further damage to the Americans' face will not be tolerated. So I like that the whole plan here is like, no, we need this to go off without a hitch. This needs, like, the Americans need to see this. Shit. Well, I wasn't paying attention because I was reading.